It is 6:02. And we're doing this Zoom for COVID rules. And so if you just have questions, if you could just send them to me and I'll recognize you. And so I'm just gonna make sure that everybody can hear me. So I'll do a roll call. John Stevens.
Yes.
Hey, John.
I'm in the car. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Prabhu.
Here.
Hi, I haven't seen you for a while. Lisa. Andy.
Andy here.
Doug.
Here.
And Julie.
Here.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So we called meeting to order. Let's see, we have first would be the lead certification. So we have been recognized, right, Mark?
Yep, lead certified silver.
Yes, yep, which is great. So
Yay.
all that's in, yeah, which is really awesome. The minutes, Lisa sent those out at the end of our last meeting, and everybody should have received those. And do you want to vote on those now? Somebody want to make a motion on the last minute?
Move to accept the minutes.
I think he was making a motion, but I couldn't tell.
You're very choppy,
Move
John.
to accept the minutes. Sorry, I'm going to another meeting and I'm in the car. So move to accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, great. Vote by roll call. John,
Yes. Aye.
Prabhu,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Julie,
Aye.
and Mary, I declare the motion carried. Bills, should we put the bills in for the retainage, Mark? Do we
So-
include that right now?
Yeah, so there's
Because there's no
one,
other bills, right?
right, so there was an invoice from CTA in February. It was amended, or Ron and I discussed, and it was amended to approve all but $20,000, which is not coincidentally the exact amount of the pending credit change order that's on the table, which would close out the contract. So this closes out CTA down to this last change order. And if you remember that the history behind that change order, we were recommending withholding $10,000 for 2 or 3 smaller punch list items that the value wasn't worth $10,000, but it was an incentive to have CTA finish, or at least hold enough that if you had to go outside and hire somebody to do the work, you'd have more than enough to do it. $10,000 was held. The town thought, just because it was taking so long for CTA, they recommended increasing that amount to 20,000. And so CTA is they've balked at signing that credit change order. In the meantime, they've submitted this invoice and we want to be up to date payment wise. So what's on the table is to pay all but $20,000, and then that's the only item we'd have left. And either we work it out to have CTA agree to that, or agree to $10,000 and revise the credit change order, or something in between. But with the lead certification, which was great, one thing NBLC wants to see is the finished contract that everybody's been paid. So this last remaining $20,000, up to $20,000, is important for us to get through. But before we get to that last step, the penultimate step would be to approve this pay application, which gets us to that 20,000.
Right. So, and then I talked to William Blake tonight, and he said that they need to get this done hopefully by the end of April to be able to close it out so that we can get our monies from through the grant. So,
Right.
he recommended that we go with the leave 20,000 in retainage at this point, and then they'll iron it out with CTA in the next month. And
Yeah.
then we'll come back and hopefully we will finalize everything and be able to dissolve the committee at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So, okay, does somebody want to make a motion to pay that invoice?
I'll
So
make,
move.
someone can, tell me the number again?
Mhm. Mark, can you
I
say
don't
how
have
much
it in
that was for?
front of me. Hold on a second. I don't know if Ron, if you have it. I'll look it up while we're talking.
I don't have it open.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
looking for it.
I don't think
I
you
can-
sent it to us, did you, Mark?
I thought I did. I've got it in front of me.
Okay.
It is 56,008.64.
I make a motion, oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, that gets us down to balance to finish, including retainage of an even $20,000.
And what change order number does that reference?
This is pay application number 32.
I make a motion that we pay $56,008.64 for pay application number 32.
Somebody want to second it?
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, vote by roll call. John,
Aye.
Prabhu,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Julie?
Aye.
And Mary, aye. Okay, declare that motion carried. So everybody understands that we still have 20,000 on the left. Doug?
Yeah, well, no, I didn't mean to interrupt your sentence. Yeah. My question was really just that remaining 20,000, does this committee need to approve that, or can we defer that to the town? And let the town administrator handle that remaining 20K balance?
William thought that we had to, that was the question I had to Evan and William since our last meeting. And William seems to think that we need to vote on the final, but they're going to do the negotiating with CTA between now and then.
Okay, great.
So whether it's going to be 20,000 or something in between, we don't need to decide on that.
So I'll follow up with Evan and William after this meeting and say, okay, we're at this point that we've been trying to get to. We've got $20,000 left now. Let's take it to the finish line, and just see. I don't want to wait to the third week of April and nobody's done anything, and then we're running out of time. So we're at the point everybody on this committee wants to, have the last meeting. CTA wants to close the contract. The town wants, so it's in everyone's best interest to, now with this payment, I think there's a certain amount of momentum. Okay, we're almost there. So I'll work with Evan and William, just try to get whatever that number is. If it's 20,000, that's great. And let's just wrap it up.
Okay,
What-
yeah, and if you could also ask, just confirm that we do need to vote on the final 20%
Okay.
to close out the committee.
Yep.
Lisa?
What is left to actually be done?
There was a rattling in the teen sliding door. That was bothersome to people when they opened the door. It sounded like a loose screw or something just bouncing around on the inside of the frame. It's worth maybe hundreds of dollars, certainly not tens of thousands of dollars. There was an issue about mechanical access in the lobby to one of the units, but that's it's gone away because Renault, if I'm pronouncing that right. Renaud, they're doing the mechanical work. They were going to do whatever they needed to do to get access and then just charge it to CTA directly. So it's officially a punch list item, but your service provider is already going to do that. And then honestly, Ron, I can't remember the last one. There was a third one. But it was of that type. It was small. And so
Yeah,
we said, okay, a couple $1,000s each, rounded up $10,000. This goes back, 9 months, and we said, let's just hold 10,000. And then Evan kind of inserted the town into the argument and said, no, CTA's taking long enough. I'm going to double that to 20,000. So that we just got to follow up that conversation.
So basically, anything it comes back to us from Evan is probably going to be the final number. This committee will just vote on that.
Should be, yep.
Okay, thank you.
That's the way I understood it too, Lisa. Yeah.
I think, I don't know if these have been resolved, Mark, but there was the doors in the community room that they didn't line up.
Yep,
Remember
that's been
the-
resolved.
Okay, and then so I keep forgetting to look when I'm in the library. The gate that closes was going to get that little wheel on it.
That was not, the wheel wasn't installed, but it was outside of CTA's contract. It wasn't part of the wheel, it wasn't part of the gate proposal. It was discussed, and then for a host of reasons, it wasn't included. And then in the end, somebody said, well, maybe we should include it. And by then CTA was saying, it's too late. I don't want anything to do with this. If you want to add a wheel, add it on your own. And so it kind of went away. So it's nothing that's owed contractually.
Okay, so that's
by
up to the
CTA.
town to get that
Yeah.
done.
Okay.
Great, thanks.
What about the leaks and the damage in the community room? The water leaks?
So that was
Is
an
that-
insurance, that's a separate insurance claim. That's not so much a CTA punch list item or warranty or anything like that.
And
And the
Mark,
leak
didn't they say that they were going
Outside
to
of
try to,
the-
I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
The leak that's coming through the door that goes out to the patio that goes to the
Team.
where they have the teen space. There was an issue of water coming in there as well.
There was, and I don't know, that was been the most frequently discussed area, and we added like a hood over the door. They did some little work at the concrete at the bottom of the door. They were going to go back and look at, it has a drop sweep, so when you close the door, the sweep drops down. But it was under so much water that, I don't know if you remember talking, the screws got rusted, and now the drop sweep doesn't drop like it should. So they were saying it's under so much water there that all warranty stuff is voided, but we'll be good doobies and we'll come back and next time we're on site and we'll replace the screws and address the drop sweep. That's never happened. And that got caught up in this discussion of the $20,000 and so forth. So that physically hasn't happened. Contractually, it's not a punch list item. We were hoping they would do it in deference to just wrapping the project up, but this goes back to the fall. They've just never been back to the site, and I don't think we're going to get them back to the site. But we know what the fix is. There's probably 4 rusty screws on the bottom of that door. We just need to replace them. But that was part of the $10,000. We just kind of lumped everything kind of together.
And I'm assuming there's a chance, albeit maybe small, that CTA just walks away from the 20K. They say they're done.
Yeah, but
And then
the thing
we'll
is-
have a 20K balance to spend on all this stuff.
Yeah, so that's the fight that Evan's trying to make.
Right.
Yep.
Anybody else? Okay. So on that flood damage, also, didn't they say that it was coming from South Street and they were gonna divert the water? Like curb it more or do something else with it? Doug, do you know anything about that?
Only that's what we talked about at this last meeting, but I haven't heard any updates since.
Okay.
And there hasn't been any issues with, we had a fair amount of rain. Was that yesterday, 2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah, Saturday was crazy.
Yeah. So, but I haven't heard, but I can check with the trustees and see if they've heard.
Okay, that'd be great. Andy?
Yeah, that's still the plan. The DPW can't get to that until later in the spring, once the ground conditions are better.
Okay, so that's great. So hopefully that will help.
Right.
Okay, Mark, do you have anything else?
No, that's it. I'm
Ron?
just anxious to talk with Evan and William to just pull CTA back into the conversation and push toward the finish line.
Yeah. And Ron, are you all set?
I'm all set. I'll just be on standby, if Mark needs any help, or any paperwork done.
Okay. And I think that's it. John, you have anything on the historic district? It's on the agenda still?
I just reported to them at the last meeting that we did receive the leads certification. I don't
Mhm.
know the timing for the money coming in, but that that this committee had indicated that some of that money would be used to do the screening. So I'm assuming that will be after this committee disbands, because I'm sure it takes a while for that money to come in, and then
Yeah.
the historic district would need to be working with the town administrator at that point, and however wherever the money is to handle to the installation of that screening.
Okay. Yeah, Mark, do you have any sense of how long that takes?
It takes a while. It could take 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
And so it'll be well past this committee. One thing to check though, and I can review it with William and Evan, is that you want to make sure that the MBLC money that's earmarked specifically for this project goes specifically to this project and doesn't go into the town like general fund, and then it gets lost. And you don't get the library doesn't get everything that it was entitled to. That's the MBLC is they're funding the library. They're not funding town services. And sometimes I've seen, inadvertently, because it happens so late in the game, 9-12 months later, monies are received and people remember maybe it's for the library, but the money doesn't go there. So just something to be aware of. I'll talk to William about it.
Okay. And Andy, do
Do
you
we-
think you could help us with that? I mean, I know the select board has had, some issues with other monies before, so.
Do we know how much that is?
I can check with Cynthia, the lead consultant. I don't know, Ron, if she gave us a number, but I know we had it at one point. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing a number recently.
Okay, I'll check with Cynthia.
All right, and then, so at our next meeting in April, we'll be able to talk about disbanding the committee, and everybody can smile then.
Yeah.
It's been a long
I
one.
thought I joined
Yeah.
this meeting, Mary. I thought I joined this meeting to help you guys get fat.
We're so close, probably, so close.
Do we have an official date in April that we want to get on the calendar, or will we just do what we did this time, wait for an email?
Unfortunately, we're on standby until they negotiate back and forth with CTA. But they hope to have it before the end of April.
Yep.
So to be determined, unfortunately. Okay, with that, I won't keep anybody any longer then.
I make a motion at 6:21.
6:20.
Second,
Okay. Vote by roll call. John,
Aye.
Bravo,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Andy,
Hi.
Doug,
aye.
Julie,
Aye.
and Mary. Aye. Awesome. Thank you all so much.